Hi, my name is Karisa Chiu. I'm 20 years old and I play the violin. I was born and raised in Palatine, Illinois, which is about an hour from downtown Chicago. But because my dad is a violinist in the Chicago Symphony, I would be in the city and listen to the orchestra all the time, which was really inspiring to me growing up. And so it was a dream of mine when I was little to one day play in the symphony with my dad. And 2 years ago, I won a substitute position with them, and now I've played several concerts, a couple of which my dad and I have been stand partners, which was surreal. My mom is a pianist and has been teaching in the Music Institute of Chicago ever since I was little. My dad was my first teacher, but when I was 12, I began studying with Almita Vamos at the Music Institute of Chicago Academy, where I made lifelong friends that I have to this day. I feel so lucky to be born in a city with such a rich culture of the arts. And when thinking of creating an album to add to the plethora of classical albums in the world, I can't help but think of my place in the world, both the musical world and society. And as a woman in the 21st century in a field that has long been male-dominated, I wanted to create something that celebrates women composers. Amy Beach, I think, sets the tone for this entire album. As a child prodigy and successful pianist and composer, she encountered a lot of discouragement and sexism throughout her life, but managed to overcome it and become one of the first successful female American composers. And so I think her romance for violin and piano would be a great addition to this album. Last year, I also had the opportunity to work with composer Augusta Reed Thomas. I love playing her music because it has such depth and nuance, and when visualizing the repertoire for this album, I immediately thought of her piece Incantation for solo violin, which I had actually performed before I worked with her. To top it all off, she's from Chicago. For the next piece, I thought of String Force by Joan Tower, which was the commission work for the 2010 Indianapolis International Violin Competition. And I thought this would be the perfect fit because my current teacher, Ida Kavafian, who is such a strong female figure in my life, helped Tower with the technical challenges of writing the violin. I also imagined the Clara Schumann Three Romances for violin and piano to be on the album because as a pianist and composer, she really was one of the first to pave the way, not only for female musicians in her time, but musicians period, which is something I've always admired. And her Three Romances are some of the most beautiful and also provides contrast to the rest of the program. These are just a few ideas that I think would contribute to the message that I want to get out there, which is exactly the reason why I would love to make a record with Cedille. Releasing an album is one of the best ways to publicize one's artistic vision, and whatever I create, I would want it to not only be an accurate representation of who I am as a musician, but to say something to the world. And it gives me an opportunity to show what I have to offer in an outlet that is different than a live performance, one that can possibly reach a wider audience and is infinite in a way that a live performance is not. Of course, there is something unique and beautiful to a live performance, but a record is not bounded by time in the same way and can theoretically reach an audience in years to come.